there. And you can finance that up to 90% of the price on there. So you can go in with as little as 10% down to purchase the building for your property instead of leasing. Build your wealth instead of your landlord's on there. So it's a great program that offers long-term fixed rates. It can, like I said, it can be used for the purchase of your property, heavy machinery and equipment outside of real estate or included in the real estate purchase. We can also refinance, and we'll talk a little bit about that in case you already own a building and are looking at refinancing. And that would include some cash out for your business as well. And again, can be for construction, renovations and improvements on your property. So the requirement is on a property, you would need to be occupying at least 51% with your business. The program allows you then to have a property that you can lease out up to 49% for some additional income, which is a wonderful thing. Hopefully the goal is you do that now and then you can move in and expand into that building on there. So we also offer some liquidity replacement that helps you with your down payment. And we'll get into a little bit of detail on that as well. We offer 7A Community Advantage loans that can be used for various purposes, including a real estate purchase, because sometimes in California, there still are some small, say, industrial condos, small buildings that are a lower dollar amount, and this may be the better option for that. We also offer microloans anywhere from 5,000 to 50, and some other loans that we can help with small businesses for various needs that could be used for expanding, purchasing a business, inventory, working capital, buying another business, so forth. Did you have a question?
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, on there. So on our next slide, this gives a little bit of information on those programs. So we do have one that is particular for a small loan that is for minority-owned businesses in California. So it goes up to 50,000, and we offer a reduced interest rate on the anniversary in the first 3 years of up to 1.5% on that, as long as you've had consistent payments going forward. So it is something specifically for minority-owned business owners.
Is that the microloan?
It is a microloan, but it's a minority program. Ahmed,
It's a minority loan program, and it has the same limit like the microloan, but with a preferred interest rate.
You know,
So-
we created that program to reward success. So some of you may be familiar with, and to our virtual audience, some of you may be familiar with, if you have had some derogatories or things that happen in your credit history, they're probably going to offer you a loan and it's going to be higher interest rate, right? But we wanted to create a product that could reward success. So in this specific program for minority businesses that we got support from some of our lending partners for, it rewards that success that says, we're going to start at a certain interest rate. And if you make your payments on time every month, for the first 12 months, we're going to reduce that interest rate by 0.5% every year for 3 years up to 1.5%. And then if you participate in our training programs and we can support you in our training, then we're also going to provide you with some reduction of your principal, or you can accept a grant if you do at least 3 training programs in the year. So we can certainly share more about you. Ashley is one of our processors. She loves that particular product and,
I do.
and how it serves small businesses. And we're happy to answer any questions that you have afterwards, but it's a great product designed for your success.
So the other one you'll see on here is a SBA 7A Community Advantage that does go up to 350,000, has multiple uses on that. It's a great program. There is a 7A loan that is available through banks and other participating lenders that go up to $5 million. If you need something larger, we could definitely help. That's one of the things we do is help businesses make connections to lenders, because we do have a lot of connections. We want to get you in the right place. But a lot of these up to that dollar amount, the banks really are not participating in. So we're a partner to these banks because they want to have a resource for some loans that they can't necessarily assist borrowers with right now. So we do work with that, but you can come directly to us. And like I said, it has a multiple uses available to it. And Ahmed is our director of community lending, and he takes care of all of that. We also will go back a little more detail on the SBA 504 for your real estate. We can sometimes pair that loan with a 504. So let's say you're purchasing a building and then you also want to do some equipment in there, or maybe you just need to do some minor improvements or something in there. You want to paint it after you get done, something like that. And we can provide some additional capital to help you with that. So we're able to put multiple programs together to assist you as you need. And the next slide, please. So again, as we discussed, the SBA 504 would be for you to purchase a building for your business, or and we'll talk about refinance as well. It is a partnership program. So we work together with a bank or other participating lender, and I'll show you a structure in a moment about that. And we get our approval. So typically the bank would be in a first position. We're in the second. It was 10%. Now, you may have to bring in a little bit more. If your business is a startup, which is defined as you've been generating revenue for less than 2 years, that would be a startup, and you would need to contribute 15%. Also, if the property you're purchasing would be considered special purpose, think of something like a gas station or a car wash. It doesn't have multiple uses that could be converted to something else. That would also require an additional 5%. Yeah. So we do a lot of different kinds of properties. So it could be anything from, an office property for you if you're a professional, to a warehouse, manufacturing. And as I mentioned, gas stations, car washes, with assisted living, daycares, wineries, gyms. So there's a lot we can do under that. We do not finance anything that is strictly passive rental income. So I would not be able to finance an apartment building, a mobile home park, or say a shopping center where you just have tenants in there. But because you must have a business in there operating at least 51% of the square footage on there. So on there. So we can also refinance. So if you do already own a property and you're looking to refinance, that is something we can do, and refinance up to 90% of the value. If you want to take cash out, it can go up to 85%. So there's a lot of business owners who perhaps got into a high rate adjustable loan when they purchased their property. And maybe it was based on prime, and maybe prime was 3.5% when you got in. Prime is now 8.5%. So over the last couple of years, some business owners have seen their rate increase 5%. Maybe double the rate that they started at. As a business owner, how do you control your costs? If and I'll show you an example of a car wash later, are you going to double your fees that you charge your client? You can't do that. So we offer an opportunity for you to refinance that into a lower fixed rate and control your costs. And you've got that peace of mind for a lower cost on there. There's also, we can use the 504. Let's say you have your building and you want to do an expansion on it. You want to do a big renovation on that. We can refinance the existing debt and include that renovation in there. Next slide, please. So again, this is, as I mentioned, it's a public-private partnership between a bank, you, and the SBA through a certified development company, which is what we do. We are an authorized lender of the Small Business Administration. We bring in the funds from the SBA. So the typical structure might be, if you look at that, would be $1 million purchase there. And the bank would bring in 50% at $500,000. The SBA would bring in through AMPAC, CDC would bring in $400,000, and you would contribute $100,000 on there. If it was, as we mentioned, that special purpose, it would be 50% and then 35%, and you would contribute 15%.
I was just gonna say, Janine, it could be a non-bank lender, like we have a
Yes,
non-bank
Scott
lender in
is
the
here.
room.
Yes. I did say participating lenders, yes. So yeah, we have a lot of partners to do that. So one thing I want to say is, and again, I was 24 years in banking and I worked for some conservative banks. And I do understand that not all banks will do everything. So don't be discouraged if you hear no at the first stop. Because you may, let's say you're going to do a car wash and that bank says, no, that's not eligible. That doesn't mean it's not eligible for SBA. It just doesn't fit in their credit box. And they may not explain that properly. So that's why we're here to help you and understand that you've got a resource to us, because maybe your bank can't, but it may still be eligible. And because believe me, the bank I worked at, 90% of what I do here in these last 10 years, I couldn't have done there. So they did great things, but a lot of it didn't fit into their credit box. So let us help you navigate that. We are a resource to lending partners. We're not a broker. We're just going to help you find the right resource. And if it's not the 504, we'll get you on the right path for that as well. So the benefits of the 504 program and using any of the SBA programs are a lower down payment. And the 504 also offers that long-term fixed rate. So right now, I mean, obviously rates have come up. Just for example, our 25-year fix on our second for this, for February is 6.38%. Notice I said prime was 8.5. Usually a bank's going to put a spread 1 to 2 3/4 over that. So it's a big difference for that right now. So I'll go to the next slide. We talked a little bit about refinance. If you already own a property, some businesses were put into the 7A. It is a great product. I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but those rates, if they were adjustable, did increase quite a bit. This is one that we assisted a business owner with. He had purchased his land many, many, many years ago with cash, and it sat there. And then in 2019, he went in and did a construction loan. It was with a 7A loan with a lender. At the time, prime was 3.5. His spread was 2 over that. It was a great rate. Finished the car wash, he's operating. Then when the rates started going up, so he got to 10.5%. Again, how do you're going to double the fees that you charge to them? So we were able to get him into a 504. His rate on the second was 5.9%. That is a savings for him of $6,041 per month. Huge savings for him. And now it's fixed. He doesn't have to worry about it.
So I'll just mention one other thing. Sometimes with the 7A loans that people have done, they've also had to pledge their home as additional collateral. And so we are able with the 504, you don't have to pledge your home as additional collateral when you do a refinance on a commercial real estate project like that.
So on there. So I also want to talk about, we talked about the down payment assistance we have. This is something exclusive to AMPAC due to Hilda's visionary work, and we all want to help all businesses gain access to owning their building and build their wealth. So we have 2 programs that assist with your down payment in the form of liquidity replacement. So what that means is that 10% you're still going to put in, but sometimes that's going to drain everything you have. We can immediately come back and replenish that and replace that up to half of that amount with a maximum of 100,000. So let's say you're purchasing a building for $2 million. You put your $200,000 in, we would do a loan back to you for 100,000. It is a great loan. It is amortized over 10 years with due in 5, fixed at 5% for the life of that. Where else are you going to find that right now? You can use that just back for your working capital, help you get back. So we have 2 programs. Our flagship one is the one that does help women-owned businesses and Black and Latino-owned businesses. So 51% or more on that. And it's exactly that program. And you would have a deferment on the payments for that loan, that liquidity replacement loan, for the first year. Interest will accrue, but you don't have to start making payments until month 13 on that. So get you in your building, give you that capital back. You can, get situated, get your cash flow in place, and you've got that back to you. So we've got another one that does assist, some of our other business owners, doesn't have the gender or ethnicity requirement. It would be for a first-time buyer. So if you're buying a commercial property for the first time, you could own your home, you could have other properties, but it's the first time you're buying a property for that business. Same program, just would not have that deferment on, the payments. It would start immediately on that, but same rate, 5%. So great way. A lot of times your lenders are very concerned about, the lenders we're partnering with, seeing that you're draining all of your liquidity to go into, the property. In this way, that will help them to know that, hey, I've got some cash coming back that's gonna help me operate my business. And the other thing the lenders like a lot is this loan will not have a lien on that property. So great way to get into your building, and that is exclusive to us. So this was our next one. This was the first one here at Ampax. This was our flagship. So young woman with a, home healthcare business. She dispatches nurses and home healthcare aides out to people, purchasing her business, her building. And we were able to use that down payment assistance for her. She was going to do some minor improvements on the building, some flooring and things like that. It was so small, it didn't make sense to include it in the financing of the 504. She wanted her dad to do it and everything. So, hey, let's do this. She used those funds to do those cosmetic improvements in our building. During the process, she had a baby. That's why they're showing us, this is the day they got their keys. She sent me a picture holding the baby. They got the keys to their building. And she's since had another baby and doing really well. And then the next one here. This is Tamika. She has a mental health practice. She was working from small office and she was able to find a property. It was actually a house and had the appropriate zoning. And it just creates a really wonderful retreat space for her to have, her counseling sessions and other types of yoga and different things like that. She's got a nice yard. And so she was able to purchase this property with 10% down, and we were able to get that half down payment back to her. So she really fulfilled her dream on that property with that. So we have many more stories, and you're going to hear about a couple. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope you're beginning to see your possibilities. So I'm going to pause for just a moment because the best part of this webinar is coming up, because you're going to hear stories live and in person and virtual. Are there any questions that I can take just a few minutes before I bring up our guest and turn to our guest who is virtual? Any questions?
No questions. I just want to say, I'm excited. I'm ready to meet with somebody.
Trust me, we're in the room to have that conversation. Don't worry, we're right here for you. Well, sure.
If you already have land and you want to buy some equipment for the land, which would you recommend for that?
Either one, either our community advantage, depending on what the cost is, or the 504. One of those sounds like that could work for either one. It depends on how the land, if the land is, say, for example, we're working on a project now where they have the land and they're gonna park trucks on this land.
Right.
We're using a 504 for that because it's like a $6.5 million project. But if you own the land and you're gonna buy some trucks and the financing is for the trucks, then that may be better for community advantage. And we have, again, loan officers all around the room to answer questions, okay?
I have a question. So we're in renewable energy, as you know. So we have a client that's doing a 10 megawatt solar farm on their property. So would any of that equipment purchase fall underneath that? So they'll be using storage, battery storage containers, maybe some solar, but for the most part, and it's going to be for the purpose, of course, of reselling those carbon credits. Would they be able to qualify for something like this?
I am pretty sure. The reason I'm saying pretty sure, I need to hear all of the details. I don't want to get myself in trouble and I don't want my team to look at me like, what did you promise? So I'm not gonna let that happen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it depends. We'd love to have the conversation and flesh it out. And the team is in the room, so you can talk to someone about it. I think I'm gonna point you to Ahmed first, so that he can talk to you about that specific example. And I'm gonna point you to Janine, so you can talk about that example that you gave. And then others will hover around to hear some of the conversation.
Are you out of Grand Terrace office?
We don't have a Grand Terrace office anymore. We, moved from Grand Terrace when we bought this building.
I was working with Brandon.
Yes, oh, yes, yes, Brandon still works with us. He's in a different capacity, but yes, thank you. Well, you're in for a treat, and I'm so excited because we have one of our guests here in person who's gonna stand at the podium with me, and we have one virtual for our virtual audience, so nobody is left out. Jerry Riggins owns a barber school, and he's gonna talk a little bit about his story. And Cameron, Outcome Medical is going to talk about his story. So I'm inviting Cameron to come up. And I want you all to give some applause for Jerry too.
That's right, Jerry. That's right.
So I've never interviewed someone standing up that I have to look up to. It's kind of cool. Okay, so Jerry, go ahead and take yourself off of mute. And what I'd like to do first is just ask these gentlemen to introduce themselves and describe how they got started in business. So I'm gonna start with Cameron to introduce yourself and talk about how did it all start? You're gonna love these stories. Oh, I can't wait. Anyways, go on.
All right, hello, everyone. I'm Cameron Stewart. I grew up here
I want you
in,
to stand
okay.
over here so you're in the camera.
I grew up here in Diamond Bar, California. Went to Diamond Bar High School. I played football. I got a I played football, went to Mount Sac. Then from Mount Sac, I got a scholarship to Tuskegee. And I graduated from Tuskegee University. And when I graduated, I just started my business. It was like the first thing I did. I didn't even get a job. I was in college, I worked at Arby's. I saved up $3,000, and my business partner, who I play football with, he took out a student loan before he graduated for like $10,000, and we used that to start the business, so.
What your business does.
Okay, so we do orthotics and prosthetics, so we make prosthetic limbs, legs, arms, we do custom bracing like for scoliosis, polio, you know, and all knee bracing, back bracing, all those. So we actually have 7 locations. We just bought our 7th location in Southern California providing this service.
Right.
Jerry, please do share your story and your background. Tell them what you do and how you got started.
Hi, my name is Jerry Riggins. Jerry Vet.
Here.
Hold on, Jerry, we're not hearing you very well. We're gonna pump up the microphone and you can lean in a little closer. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jerry Riggins. I've been cutting hair for a long time. I was in the military for about 13 years. Just needed to make more money. Jerry was good to me. I just didn't make enough money. So got stationed in San Diego, originally from South Carolina. Started cutting hair in my garage. Yeah, I looked up. I was making more money cutting hair from my garage with my Navy paycheck. I said, "Oh, you're onto something." So got out the military. It's all vice. I just started cutting hair, and then next thing you know, I got a couple shops, and I started teaching. And I fell in love with teaching. A lot of local barbers come to me, learn from me. They go open their own shops. like, wow, I think I can do this. So I wanted to create something where I could still be me and kind of, I like to say I create my own corporate America. I didn't want to go back and get a job. So got into the school route. I got a lot of successful barbers who are working on their own shops now, doing the barber. So it was just a win-win. So,
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. And thank you, and like I said on our call, for your service to our country. Thank you.
Yes.
I want to get a little deeper with you all. And I want to find out a little bit about your family background. So, did you come from a line of business owners? Do you have generational wealth where, you know, you had a family trust you could lean on? I mean, you said 3,000 in Arby's and 10,000 from the student loan. I don't know, I'm surmising something. But can you talk a little bit about, I'm gonna ask Jerry to start and then you, Cameron. Tell us about your family background.
I was born in the 80s, so I was born in 1980, so in Carolina, so I grew up pretty poor. Lived in a mobile home, everything. You know, I got hit with the crack epidemic. Most of my family was in prison. So no, I didn't come from no big long means of money or wealth. Just a good, hardworking family, I can say. We try to do best with what we had. So I understood the work ethic, but honestly, I just never thought. I always wanted to be wealthy and rich. Like growing up in the South, I grew up in a big tourist area, North Myrtle Beach. So I had to clean a lot of condos for wealthy families that come down every summer. I used to always dream when I was 15, 16 years old, like one day I want to take my family to these condos. I also want to clean. And yeah, so it was just, yeah. So yeah, I grew up really poor. So, thanks to AMPAC, we changed that.
I need to use that line. Okay, Cameron.
All right, so for me, I grew up, I would say middle class. You know, I had my mother and father grew up in Diamond Bar. But the only way I was going to college is if I paid for it or if I got a scholarship. So it wasn't like they were handing me anything. I remember when I graduated college, you know, like I said, I wanted to start the business and I asked my dad, I'm like, give me $5,000. Like, just give me, I just needed 5,000. And he was like, nope. It's like, nah, that wasn't like, it wasn't that type of situation where he really had to even give me 5,000 and get the business started. But, so yeah, I didn't come from but my family, you know, I grew up in church. We're a church. All right, my grandfather had started a church. So that's like, we're a family of faith and that's really what we had.
Amen, amen. We can relate to a family of faith, for sure. So I heard your background, heard how you got started. Why own? You have 7 locations.
Yes.
Why did you decide to own? And this is your second ownership,
Yes,
right?
it's my second building. So why own? I mean, when I see you know, I've been exposed through my business through people, a lot of wealthy people. When I see what they're doing, a lot of them have real estate, and it's not just real estate. I think the real estate provides a certain lifestyle that I've seen, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta have, you know, the business is good, but I've always heard like, what's your real estate strategy? What's your real estate like? Are you getting the real estate with the business? Like they go hand in hand, and I was kind of exposed through some people exposed me to that, and like that's kind of like it's my strategy now. Like, so I have 7 locations. I bought 2, but the goal is to own all the locations. So we bought one in 2016, then we just closed in one, you know, 2023, and then now the goal is just to really to get all those, you know, all those locations. And I think with the financing, like what's available, it's like it's very possible. So
That's right.
Absolutely. Jerry.
Kind of on the same lines. Just my dad growing up super poor. house of a lot of kids. He done worked his whole life away, didn't have nothing really to show. He was always saying like, yo, you can speak on the building, on the building. And the hard I worked out here in California, was being very good to me, but I still had a boss. Like I still had to come up with that rent money every month. And in the barber game, it was just like, man, like I'm really never free. And I didn't never see no end to it. Like, I'm pretty good at what I do, but I know I'm gonna become an old man one day. So it's like, I want to be able to leave my kids something. It's like, yo, like, it's yours. This is what your daddy will do. So this is,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Buying a building requires preparation. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm gonna buy a building. I can tell you for us, we put together a strategy from 2017 to 2020. Our strategy in 2017 was in 2020, we're gonna buy our building. And we didn't plan on a pandemic, but we were prepared to buy. And I have a board of directors and they said, we're not changing course. We're moving forward. We just have to figure it out, even with the pandemic, because people are not gonna be out of buildings forever. How did you prepare?
Well, I would just say, you know, running a business, I think, you definitely, well, not I think, I know, you have to manage the money properly. Like, that's one of the most important things is the health of the company. So you have to manage, you understand your financials and all of that. And if you do that, and if your business is generating cash, then, you know, you should definitely be able to get one of these loans or something. But I think the most important thing in preparation is making sure your financials are in order, making sure you're doing what's right, you know, and when I say what's right, I don't mean like, you know, like, I use that term loose, but I mean what's right that's gonna help you get the loan. You know, of course, having a business, it allows you to leverage that and you can, you know, leverage it to
Have
have
some
your
write-offs.
lifestyle, yeah,
I
but
got
But
you.
at the same time, it needs to be done properly, because when you go to the bank, they're going through they're gonna go through it and if it doesn't look like you know how to manage the money, they're not gonna lend you money. So I think the thing is just to prepare and to demonstrate to everybody you're working with that I can have this loan and have this building and have a loan for 30 years and consistently make those payments. So I just think preparation is demonstrating your financial, like, capability to manage money.
Very good. I'm gonna have a follow-up question for you, but let me ask Jerry the same questions. How did you prepare?
being a small business owner, and you gotta do everything. So I ain't gonna say I woke up one day and had a plan. I was just working my ass off. I was just working. I was managing the money. I wasn't really wasting my money, but didn't really think I was in a position to buy in the state of California. I just woke up one day, I seen a building, wanted to expand my locations, and I was really looking to rent. Now, I called some great guys. Connor, one of the guys who I was working with at the time, it's like, yo, the rent is 7,000. Like, but the guy wanted to buy the building, want to sell the building. It's like, and then did the numbers, said it had to come out to be like 8,000. I'm like, man, if I can afford to pay $7,000 in rent, I can pay another $1,000. Just really didn't know the finances. Talking to the guys and it was like, oh, I can really afford this. So, like, really, what is it? I was just prepared. Business was doing great. So I would just say, just always just prepared to see opportunity that come may present itself. So like, just responsible with the cash flow that comes in the business. Like, just keep praying, pray to God. Like, help. Yeah, so that's what happened to me. Like, just my time.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. You don't have to get ready, be ready.
Be ready. There we go.
Opportunity comes your way. Can you share, both of you, can you share some tips on how to prepare. What did you do? Who was part of your team in getting your finances in order and getting ready? And who's part of your team today?
Okay, so a part of getting ready, of course, your accountant and bookkeeper, they're very important because they're the ones that's documenting all the financial transactions and things like that. So working with them, and I've learned like just running the business, this is like my 18th year, like you gotta work close with them. You have to understand and they need to understand, but they're not gonna understand unless you kind of communicate it with them. So that's like one thing at the beginning of my business, I didn't spend time doing it. I'm just like, I'm focusing on the top line, like bringing more revenue, but I'm not looking at like the management of it and even working with the accountants and, to make sure it's done correctly. So that's definitely important, the bookkeeper and the CPA. And then, as far as when it comes to real estate, you gotta have a real estate agent or something like that. For me, I'm into real estate too, so my wife is an agent, so I have access to really like browse and see like what's going on. And then, so I'm always kind of looking, and then when we find something, it's like, this last time was my second time buying it. So once I find something, it's like, just line up your team, like call Brian, hey, Brian, I got this. He's like, okay, let's connect you with this. And then it's kind of, so you just gotta make sure, you have the people in place because, and when you're ready, you can call them and say, hey, let's go.
Checks in the mail, Cameron.
I didn't even call Brian out. Huh? And Brian, already in. Somewhere too. I mean, there's a lot of people in the room. Jerry, talk about your team.
My team, man, amazing. Like you say, from the bookkeeper, starting off as a barber, not making no money. My client that I've been having since, and when I got the Navy in 2009, 2010, I got this bookkeeper, wasn't really making no money. Like I was paying her more than I was making, but times has changed, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I kept her, and I got me to this point. My CPA, Ron, real estate guys, Martin, Basis, Jaime, Connor, these guys were introduced to other people. It just helped out. I just told them what I wanted, how I wanted. They just made it possible. So team is very important. And then we just built round up. Like I didn't go out there and search for these. Just put myself in the right position. But I'm in the barbershop, so everything. So we just made good connections, good people, good relationship with the real estate guy. I got a client that I deal with more of the residential real estate, but I kind of had a little insight, how to look for real estate. I got another partner who do commercial real estate. He was kind of telling me what to look for. So, when opportunity came, team came, showed up and showed up. So we need to be able to buy a commercial building. From my background, with resources that it took me forever to save up my down payment. These guys at Jerry can have it, and now it's like it's amazing. So team is very important. Accountant for sure, real estate guy for sure. Just knowing these programs like Mason, Jaime, I didn't even know about this program. And
Yeah, it's kind of going in and out. But
But I wanted to add the down payment,
yeah.
because this loan is 10%, which, it's funny. I tell some friends that's not from the United States, they're like, man, you guys get a loan, you only got to put 10% down. They're like if I had that, I would be killing it. But so, and like when you think about it, you only got to put 10%, and then they have the down payment assistance. So it's like it's really a no-brainer to like just continue to buy. If your business is going well, just continue to buy if you have several locations, continue to buy that real estate if possible. So
and let's talk a little bit about the ugly. What was hard? what made you mad?
Okay, yeah. On that,
Man, that's a lot, man. Motivation,
Go ahead, Jerry, I mean.
man. What made me mad? Mad with what? With what? Mad with
In the
what?
process, trying to buy a building, what just
Oh.
made you mad, man?
What made me mad was, so again, I'm from Carolina, got myself, grew up in the 80s, drug era, got myself in a little trouble, with the wrong people. And so, you can't, in the program, you can't have a felony. I didn't get a felony, but I did get arrested for drug charge way back in the day when I was a teenager. But this drop, didn't really have nothing to do with me. But just that and the third, I had to prove all that. I had to go back some years, and I felt like I served 13 years in government, an outstanding citizen. I had to go back and get my record from courts that you shouldn't have been there. So very frustrated with that part. Luckily, gave me a reason to go back and see my parents, but still, like, that was frustrating, that part. Other than that, worth it, but yeah. Keep your record clean. So yeah,
Yeah.
keep your record clean.
But I think, I really appreciate you sharing that because this program is possibility. So even if you had something, don't count yourself out. Sometimes we count ourselves out because we think, oh no, I have this in my background and now I'm not worthy. Let me tell you, you're worthy.
Yes.
And you know what? Our faith, because we are a faith-based company, reminds us every day that we are worthy.
Yes.
And we have second, third, fourth, fifth, 100 chances. And that's what we want to emphasize to clients. And Jerry, I'm so glad you shared that. Yeah, it's going to take some work because when stuff happens, when you do stuff, you tell it to your kids too. No, you're going to deal with consequences, but it does not count you out. And especially certain communities, they feel like these things count them out. It does not count you out, but tell the truth. Be upfront about it so that your team can work with you in solving it and overcoming it, because it is possible. Yeah.
All right, and for me, it was frustrating. Anytime you're dealing with the bank is frustrating to me, especially on a loan because, and I think on the SBA loan, when I did one before, so I already know, like, it takes a long time. They're asking all kinds, resubmit documentation, like 4 and 5 times, it feels like, you keep always having to prove something, but, like I said, this is my second SBA, so I went through it again for a reason, because that 10% down, it's good, so it has the advantages and disadvantages, I would say, but yeah, that was the worst part, is just going back and forth with the bank, and then, the bank, you gotta approve this, and then, but we closed it, so.
Yeah, we close it. That's the bottom line. Birth, I'm a mother of 4, so birth is rough. But once that baby is out, I'm like, well, maybe I can do it again. Maybe I'll go through it again. But make no mistake about it, there will be questions. There will be some back and forth. It will not be easy. And it's not for the faint at heart. If you're serious about it, you got to be serious about it. Yes, you have to answer that next email, that next text message, that question. You have to, because as lenders, we've got to be able to do prudent underwriting, and we've got to be able to answer the questions. For the SBA, for the bank, we've got to be able to answer questions. We've got to be able to document our files. So please don't go into a process thinking, I got all my stuff together, I shouldn't have any more questions. I assure you, they're gonna find a question.
Yes.
I assure you, you're going to have to answer questions, and maybe more than once. And maybe you thought you answered it good enough, there will be another question. So even if you get frustrated, remember it's 10% down plus a down payment assistance.
Yes.
And it's worth
Yep.
it for the generational wealth that it will create. So with that, I want to ask those who are virtual, and we'll check out the chat. Ask questions. They're ready. This is a military guy. This guy does prosthetics. There is nothing you can fire on them that they're not ready for. So fire at it. Ask them questions because you need to know. Thank you. Question in the room.
It's question called Cameron. Very interesting since you said you just get into business right college. Was your background in bio or medical? Or what prompted you? It's some people, some event, or, you know, it's really want to get the money that prompted you start your.
Yeah, so 2006, I graduated. That's where baby boomers is the big thing. Like the baby boomers are retiring, so many people are retiring, and I was like, okay, it's an opportunity with this population. So my business partner, he was delivering medical equipment for a company. And he would look at like the invoice, what they were billing, and he was like, hey, let's start this. That's what I graduated and, I mean, we started it, and that's it. Of course, it was a lot of hurdles to jump through and all kind of stuff, but that's really, it's a thought, and we started it. And we started doing medical equipment, so wheelchairs, walkers, and things like that. That's like a low barrier entry type of business where there was many competitors, so we seen, okay, what else can we do? Prosthetics. So I found someone that did prosthetics. She was like an admin person. I hired her, and then I hired a prosthetist, someone that makes. And then through that, we built a lab, and, you know, and then we had her, and then that worked for a couple of years. But, you know, if she has the license and I don't have it, she has all the power. So I went and got certified myself, and then I'm able to do it myself and, you know, people on the team. I don't see patients anymore, but I have a team that does, and if I needed to, I can. But, you know, that's how we kind of started.
Wow, thank you. Wow. Question in the back, and then I'll go to you.
I do have a question. So my
Paying
son,
attention to the chat or to the Q&A for questions, so.
my son is working as a prosthetic technician right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, in San Dimas, with a private company. He's not certified. He started because as a young person, one of his friends' parents owned it, and he's like, hey, I need a job. Hey, come work with us. So he's been doing it now for maybe close to 4 years now. However, he's not making much money. Like they're paying him pennies on the dollar, because I've looked at what they should make. Do you offer, and we've tried to figure out some type of a certification program he could go through. They're not offering that because, again, it's a small mom and pop business, although they've been in business for 25, 30 years. So do you offer something like that that could accelerate with his experience what he's doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm the chairman of the BOC, Board of Certification, and we do the certifying and accrediting for orthotics and prosthetics. So if you just connect me with him, I can talk to him and see I can see what we can do.
Mom's making connections.
Yeah, my question's for Cameron. My name is Marlon, by the way. I wanted to ask about if you didn't mind, about your customer concentration.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, 7 locations. I'm wondering, is it like primary, like consumers that come in and look at this equipment, or do you have mostly like business customers, suppliers that buy your product?
So the doctor refers you to, so if you have an amputation, your doctor will refer you to us. So, and we work with all the health plans in Kaiser, IHP, LA Care, all the health plans we work with. So your doctor sends you to us, and then we provide the evaluation and the limb or whatever it may be, and then we will bill your insurance.
So it's mostly consumer?
It's, yeah, consumer, what do you mean? Like? Just
Like an individual
just people.
person, people just come in, okay.
Like let's say you had a knee brace, if you sprained your knee, your doctor may say you need a knee brace. He'll do an authorization, they'll send it to me and I'll provide it. So like a pharmacy, if your doctor gives you a prescription for you know, any medication, you go to the pharmacy, they give it to you. So we're like the pharmacy for braces and prosthetics.
Thank you. I know that there's a few questions in the chat.
Yep. So the first question we have in the chat is from Tracy Maria York. Her question was, and Tracy, I don't know if you wanted Cameron or Jerry to share, but her question was, can you share the process of purchasing a commercial building? Maybe Cameron, you
All
go
right.
first and then.
So the process of purchasing it, okay, first, I think you have to find the location, find what you want, and make sure it fits, you know, your needs. One thing about the SBA, you have to occupy 51%. So you have to make sure if it's a multi-unit, you occupy at least 51%. And once you find the property, and then, you know, I would say you reach out to a lender, you know, get pre-qualified, or maybe prior, maybe before, once you start looking, get pre-qualified and see like what you can afford and all that, and then find the property, let the lender know, and then let's go from there. They'll take you through the rest. All I know really pretty much, you find the property and make sure, you know, it fits your needs and you can pay for it. And then the rest of the people will take care of the rest. That's awesome.
Jerry, do you have anything to add?
It's actually pretty simple. Looking back on it, kind of easy to buy that building, property, actually rent property. Really easy. Just everything. Finding you qualified, and can afford it. Anything else is just time. I mean, really, it's just protect you with the process. It's actually really.
Okay, all right. Next time, Jerry, when you're talking, can you lean into your mic a little bit more?
Oh, okay.
I would just add to that question. When you're buying a building, looking for commercial property, obviously the first step is the look and having a partner to help you. Commercial real estate is different from residential real estate. So if you're working with a residential broker, the learning curve can be a challenge. So I would encourage you to try and identify a commercial real estate partner to help you. Because there are things about commercial real estate and the purchase agreement associated with the commercial real estate and the due diligence that's different from residential. And then when you identify the property, you need to see that you're qualified. So a pre-qualification is really important. Partners like AMPAC can help you to do a pre-qualification, but they're going to ask you to provide financial records. We look at tax returns, 3 years of historical tax returns for the business and the personal. I get a lot of questions on, well, why do they need my personal? Because you are the person and you write the checks. So yes, we need both. We need to look at 3 years of personal and 3 years of business tax returns so that we can do a pre-qualification for you to let you know if you can afford that building. And if in fact, we determine that it's really tight, but this building is going to help you to grow, it's going to help you to get more customers and increase your revenue, then we may suggest you can afford this and we'll have to do some projections with assumptions where you're documenting how am I going to grow as a result of having this building? How is my customer base going to grow? And by how much? And what is that going to mean in terms of my revenue growth? All of that goes into our projections and we can support that conversation. And your team, your tribe, your bookkeeper, your accountant, your lending team. If you don't have a personal relationship with a banker, AMPAC can really help with that. That's one of our strongest gifts is best fit advising. So maybe you put your money in a bank, but your banker doesn't call you and check on you and say, what's next for you? How are you growing in the next year? If you don't have that relationship, you may not have a personal banker. And if you don't, you could contact AMPAC and we could help you to find the right bank based on the industry that you're in, based on some information that we may learn about your financial history and how the business is doing. And to help you to get prepared to build your team. You do need a team. No person is an island. No person stands alone in this process. Hopefully I answered that question. Brian, was there any other question from the chat?
Yes, we did have one more. Jerry, this question is for you. The question is, how did Jerry go through the process of turning his love for teaching into an educational institution? Do students get a certification? What was that process like?
Good question. Well, for teaching, barbering, it's pretty simple. So when you come to my school, my job is to train the students to prepare to take the test for California Board of Barbering. So it's pretty simple. Once they come here, they come for about a year, 1,500 hours. With Cali, he's changed it to 1,000 hours. Once I get them trained, they go pass the test, and then some of the students have left because the training was so well, open up shops from the beginning. Some just go work at shops, a few years later open their own shops. I think now, alumni shops, I got over 200 students who graduated from the program since 2016. We got like 10, 15 shop owners from the program that doing well. So just to love the motivation. I once heard someone said, find something that you love to do, never work another day in your life. So like, it's not even work for me, honestly. I'm at work now and all. I wanted to come down there. They act like they need me all the time. So yeah, it's great. I just now own the building. So currently the location we have now, we have 19 chairs. So got like 60 students enrolled. New location that we actually purchased. We have 30 chairs. And Cosmotalk. Now we currently only do barbering. Location, barbering, Cosmo, healthcare, everything that got to do with the hair. Quadruple my revenue. As Matilda was talking about the projections, we actually did the projections with my business. Just show this.
Thank you. Have you exceeded those projections?
10 times over. Yeah, I'm in the barber game in Cali.
Yeah, I said. Exactly. We like looking nice. We like.
Yeah, right.
Are there any other questions? And then we're gonna invite Brian to come up and talk to you about how to join the community so that you can have capital, coaching, and community as part of our AMPAC family. Any questions?
I had a question for Jerry. I wanted to know if you had any history on an Atlanta-based millionaire in the early 1900s who made a few $1 million, and it was from his barbershop. And he just did a concept, and I've always been amazed at like how many African Americans don't follow that model. And it seems like you did. You have a barber college, but it sounds like you got quite a few chairs in there, and I know that generates revenue. But are you familiar with the Herndon family? I think that the millionaire that started all was his name.
Not right offhand, but I probably am doing this blueprint. Like I get a lot of great mentors. You sure heard the story along the way. Again, like just barber game is like, I like to say it's like small real estate. Chairs you get in the real estate you have. Just gotta manage them well. So I just left Atlanta last weekend, but I've seen a lot of success in barber. But we got different aspects. So we actually own a couple shops and open up more shops as well. We actually graduated from my school, my shops, the shops as well. So probably similar to that line. So, I kind of want to control those. My motto actually is like the Walmart.
Yeah, that's good. I'd suggest you maybe look him up and just kind of see what he did.
I will.
It'd be a great kind of maybe experience to add to your story of something that occurred like that. And I just think it's good information. Alonzo Herndon,
Thank you. Thank you.
his business branched out of barbering into insurance companies and things like that. The dude was for the early 1900s.
And the opportunity too with the barbers coming out of college, the barbering college and starting their own businesses. Making sure that those barbers, Jerry, I was just thinking about this, get training on business acumen, how to read a financial statement, how to manage their resources so that they too can one day buy their own shop and location. So yeah, wherever we can support in training and supporting that, we'd love to do that as well. Are there any other questions?
We had one more in the chat. Sharon Seymour said that she wanted to share her story. So Sharon, I'm gonna give you talking permissions. So feel free to unmute and you should be able to chime in for a minute here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Sharon Seymour. And I decided, excuse me, to start my business, which I have two. And basically it's from need of having healthy foods. And Jamaican food is what I produce. And so I am now not only making Jamaican food, but I want to get my brick and mortar where I can basically set up a training and or a shared space. You know, like sometimes they have food courts.
Mm-hmm.
And to bring in small businesses with background for international foods, but keeping it as much as possible on the healthy side. Because we have enough franchises that aren't doing that. I mean, you look at some of the reports where you see in the Chick-fil-A's and the McDonald's and Burger King, it breaks my heart. It really does. So that's one thing. The other thing is the Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee has been, how can I say, somewhat forgotten. And it's time to bring it back. I support small farmers that are certified Blue Mountain farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm building a campaign to bring it back. And so people can see really what it is. And also to support the Jamaican farmers. Because in the coffee business, there's been so much exploitation. And
Sharon, and one thing too, I'm gonna hit on how we can continue to share information like that. And but let me know when you're good, and I'll kind of chime in around that exact point. Thank you for sharing your story. That is,
I'm ready. You can go.
oh, okay. Well, you said it. And I'm not shy with the mic, Sharon, so I'm not gonna say no. Okay, so you got me for slides, so I'll leave my laptop. So, okay, we're gonna do this in a very simple way. I'm gonna try to make it clear a lot of the things we do across capital, coaching, and community. You've heard that once, twice, maybe 3 times. Capital is important, coaching is important, but look at this room. Isn't this dope? You're literally in community, and that's everything we're trying to continue to do. We go to the next slide real quick, Ian. And then, I don't know, yeah, thanks, bro. So the entrepreneur ecosystem is how we centralize capital, coaching, and community. The core is people. So I'm gonna tell you all right now, I'm gonna be doing a live demo right after I go through this slide. If you don't have the Ampact Business Capital app on your phone, download it. and create your profile. I'm giving you that disclaimer now. So we built this ecosystem as your business resource center. So you walked into this space, right? This is a co-working space. You can book this space through the app. You want to use this room? Book it. You see how we do the technology? You see the different camera angles? This is all accessible to you. You want to host events? Let us know. We specialize with events around financial literacy for business owners. If you want to host those kinds of events, definitely let us know. All right? Now, we put all kinds of business coaching and mentorship in the ecosystem. The point is to keep you wrapped with support 24/7. Yeah, you can't talk to me all day, but we have webinars that you can watch at 2 a.m. and we have calendar links of consultants across the region, the state, and the nation that you can book meetings with whenever your time permits. And we put that all in one place. That's what technical assistance is. It's a continuum of support. What you'll see when I do the demonstration is that we aim to make technical support real. Everyone's used to real-time support. And as a younger professional, I'm very used to real-time support. So how we built this is to give you real-time support on a 24/7 basis. It's about growing your business network. If you could come back one more time, I promise I'll fly through the rest of the bullet points. It's about your network and where the sources of your networks. Who knows where their local chamber is, where they live? Some people, right? Hopefully everyone, because you want to connect to a network where you can get more business, right? We centralize that as well through our app. This is one of our training centers. We're going to be adding more as we grow the ecosystem. We're partnered with the Inland Empire Center for Entrepreneurship through Cal State San Bernardino. We'll be adding locations in San Bernardino and Temecula up next. This is our Ontario location. We continue to host events just like this. I hope after this, everybody's going to be doing a little bit of networking. But this is about training, coaching, and community networking. Okay? And we send a newsletter every week. We can go on to the next page. So I'm a big visual guy. It's an app. It's really easy. It's free. You create a profile that's like a LinkedIn for yourself, but it gives us everything we need. Who are you? What business do you have? Do you have two? What's the about section gonna say? What are your skills? What's your LinkedIn? What's your email, your phone number, your website? Do you have a secondary website link? Where there, I don't know, a Canva graphic to everything you do. This is what we are gonna walk through. So what I'm gonna do, I tried to give some of you a little bit of a head start for those who didn't choose to download the app when you walked in the building. I tried to give some of you a head start. So if you didn't take advantage of it, I'm sorry, but I love you. Yes, ma'am.
So I did download the app,
Yes,
but I got stuck on website. I don't have a website
good.
and it wouldn't let me go forward.
Yes, so all you put for a website is NA, just not
I put
available.
NA?
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, as long as you
I'll
put
figure it
something,
out.
right? Because we want to see something. We're not gonna let you get away with nothing.
Mhm.
So I'll go through the app pretty quick. This is the ecosystem. Now, when everybody goes to events, do you ever get to keep up with everybody in that room? No, you don't. You have no idea who's there. And there are probably like 3 people you want to talk to, but you didn't get to, because you got another meeting you gotta go to, huh? Well, yeah, me too. We all got stuff we're trying to do. So look. Look, I must talk real straight because I love you all enough to do it. If you're in the app, you're not gonna leave this room without getting connected if you follow the steps. What are the steps, Brian? How do we be a part of community and not leave this room without knowing everyone here? So you see the screen, quick tutorial. This is the home page. All of these are resources, capital, coaching, community, free coaching, free consulting, free mentoring. Scroll across the buttons on the top and click what you need. This is how you reserve the space. You click see all, that brings you to the event calendar. Yes, we did this event today. Oh, who's trying to do more government contracting? We host webinars about that. We do just about everything you need. Isn't that today? We're promoting a great resource called the Entrepreneur Operating System. I don't care how big you think you are, your system can be better. We host a monthly webinar series alongside our Entrepreneur Operating System implementer, Marshall Crowe. That is on our app, that is on the calendar. We continue to promote more events. Great. All this is just support. So if you need us, contact us. You want to connect to Wi-Fi, get directions to this location, we'll add it for other locations too. The bullhorn. This is the most important part of this dang community. We want you to promote yourselves because that's how we all get to know who you are. This app currently has 1,598 people. If I'm not over at 1600 before this meeting is over. I have some real bones to pick with each and every one of you. All right, now, Sharon, you were talking about promoting information, not only about your business, but about the resources of the community of your business. This is where you do that on the app, Sharon, on the ecosystem feed. Please post. As you all see, we post a weekly newsletter. This gives you capital resources, grants, specialty loan programs, VC resources, angel investor resources, and Cal Savers. Capital is an ecosystem. Knowing how to navigate it is critical. We promote coaching resources across the board and community resources. But look at this here. Hi, Robert. Oh, you started a business. You need help with SBA loan. Oh, somebody liked your stuff. Oh, wow. Somebody commented on your stuff and I can book a meeting. The world is technology forward. Let's keep it simple and be effective with how we grow our businesses. Same thing. You need help? Call it out. 9 comments. Then I'm not the only one. People want to help each other, don't they? Don't we want to help each other? But we got to know how to help each other, don't we? Let's be in community together. Yeah? All right. So look, that's a feed. You can post your stuff. Let people find out about you. The community. This is the most important part. When you're creating your app, that bio, that profile is going to have all your info. Let's see what Maria's talking about with 365 framers. Family-owned business. We love to see it. But that's the type of stuff you want people to see with your profile. What is your company? What are your skills? What's your email? Is this profile that robust? No, right? Probably did it fast. That's fine. Let's see what Tanya's got with Lulu Snowballs. Tanya Collins. Okay, we see a little more about Tanya. We can go to Tanya's website, right? A little bit more robust. It's helpful. Now, I'm gonna come back and make this quick. You can search for what you need. You need finance. Start typing in finance, see what you see. You need legal support, type in law, see what you see, right? People are here. You can search by skills, right? And if somebody's not there, well, tell us. You probably might know somebody, or might know somebody that might know somebody. Now, that's the individual directory for each individual that has a profile in the ecosystem. Now, the communities. This is the teams directory. Did I tell y'all you don't have to leave the room without knowing everybody who's here? I said that, right? Okay, just make sure I'm not great. So look, within the teams directory, there's a component here that I'm gonna highlight. This event is called It Is Possible, right? I created a team during this meeting. Took me 5 seconds on the app. It's easy to create a team. So yeah, you wanna say, hey, we have a mobile app. Yeah, you can use ours and build your own team. So what did I say this event's called? It Is Possible? All right, great. Oh, there's already a team. Oh, okay, who's here? Oh, is that Janine Warren right there? Yep. Oh, Janine, have your phone now? Oh, cool. Oh, you're even? Ah, cool. Oh, Damaris Whistler, she's another Impact team member. Oh, Ian Aguilar, he's a rock star. He's been doing all this tech stuff. Oh, I heard that name, Ashley Whistler, right? Look at this. We're here. We're not going anywhere. Hunter, you heard that name. Ahmed, you heard that name. Brian, you heard that name. Where's Sharon? Sharon.
Right here.
We got you on the team, baby. You want to know about Sharon's stuff? Check out her profile. So this is what I'm going to promise each and every one. Because you're all here today. We see when anybody joins the app. If you join the app, and we know because this event just happened, we'll add you to the team. And if you need to connect with anyone, do it through the team directory. Once again, this is how you get to this team that's in this room. Hit the people button. Scroll down past Explore to Teams. Click See Directory. And remember, it is possible, right? Scroll down. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. It is possible. You'll see everybody here. Now, I told you I don't play games. So if you don't have the app already, I hope you're working on it. If you don't, that's okay. When you get in the app, find me. If you want to talk about a loan, yes, you can email, you can text anybody. Find my profile. Yes, I'm on a lot of teams. Scroll down to where you see website link, okay? Click website link. This will take you to my digital business card. I have 2. This is my Impact Business Capital digital business card. You can create this for free. It doesn't cost you anything. You have networking events, send them a digital business card, text it to them. You can email me, you can call me. You click this third link, you can book a meeting with me. We love booked meetings. Scheduled appointments are phenomenal. Just leaving that out there. You can go to our website. You want to join the ecosystem? Click that link, it'll take you to download the app. You want to learn about everything we do? Click the last link. Once again, I hope to see you all in the ecosystem, in the It Is Possible ownership for your business team. Really grateful for your time today. We're excited to continue to support you. Thank you all for all you do.
Thank you, Brian.
I hope that there was something you took away today. But I started the meeting with taking away, it's possible for you. And impossible is nothing for you. We are delighted to be able to serve you, to partner you with someone who can serve you even better, to help you to advance your entrepreneurial dream. We'd love for you to take time to network, to have a little lunch. We want to be a good steward, so we need to feed you some of those sandwiches. And we support Girl Scouts, so we have some Girl Scout cookies there as well. Let us be able to help you. If you have a specific question, we're in the room to do that. I noticed that I was not added to the It Is Possible team. I don't know why, but that's.
Brian.
I'll ask you right now, don't worry. Pretty fast.
Just a click.
Just a click.
Just a click away.
I'd also encourage you to, Cameron's in the room, Jerry is available. If you have questions from someone who did it 7 times, who's gonna do it 5 more times in ownership. And I think I know his partner, so we're excited to talk to you about that too. So please enjoy yourselves, get to know one another in the room, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.